Sanjana, Moina, thanks so much for joining us, and great to be here at the lab. Enjoying all these delicious chocolates with you.
Thank you.
And I love the fact that not many people know that you actually make them here from scratch.
Okay, yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. How you started it. The entire lab that you have set up here, the kind of chocolates you're making.
It actually started with just like an idea and a thought with respect to making my own chocolate one fine day, which was like at the age of 15, and I left that and I said, okay, fine, I'm going to become a pastry chef and I'm going to pursue my passion and get into all other things. But then chocolate always kept coming back to me in some way or the other, right, through my work experience and things. And I broke my leg about 2 years ago, and then I had a lot of time on my hand to tell myself like, hey, I really need to focus back onto really what I'm truly passionate about. And I started doing a lot of research about chocolate makers around the world, craft chocolate makers, and especially the US craft chocolate industry is really booming. And just the entire artisanal food industry, I think it's something that as a chef, I felt like I want to give back to the environment as well. I mean, being a maker, I just don't want to be a melter. I want to make something of my own. And the idea sparked about 2 years ago. I think it took us about a year to set the entire operations up. We had certain issues of figuring out machinery, and I think the biggest challenge was getting the cacao beans from all around the world and actually building direct trade relationship with cooperatives and communities, because we do not go through a commodity board. We go have direct, transparent trade relationships directly with the farmers.
Okay.
So we're looking at doing fair trade pricing, ethical pricing and those kind of things. So I think it was all about that. It was about building a business model around that, and it was not just a business model, it was also a social business model. So I think it was a new way of doing things. And here we are. And I think we launched this about 6 months ago. It's going pretty steady. We're going to be available soon in multiple stores. But more than anything else, what is really exciting is that I'm able to take this chocolate from India and being one of the first chocolate makers, I would say, and taking them abroad for different trade shows. And and when people see us, they're like, hey, is there even cacao in India? That's the first question. And when did India start making chocolate? That's the second question. And then I start telling them about different chocolate makers, be it some in Pondicherry or be it some down south in Tamil Nadu and Andhra. I said, no, there are a couple of us out there. So it's like I think 3-4 of us out there in the country that are doing this. So they find it very interesting, and then we become something very unique for the international expat audience and stuff like that. So,
and out of the 3-4 of you, how many of you are women?
I think 2 of us.
So you're one of the 2 women in the country that are doing this.
At the moment, I hope more women come in.
Of course, and I mean these chocolates, the packaging, the flavors.
And that's done by women too. So
yes, exactly, as you were telling me.
Yeah.
What's really awesome is that both of you take what you're passionate about and what's meaningful to you in your daily life and turn it into your profession.
Yes.
I want to talk to you, Moina, about your business, but before that, also tell me about how you've been collaborating and the kind of work you've been doing together.
How are we connected?
So I just love her chocolate. I just love her chocolate.
So I think Moina and I connected about 6 months ago? Somewhere?
I don't even remember.
Yeah, so I think we were at TAP.
met vaguely.
Yeah,
like
vaguely
at
earlier.
MasterChef some time back.
We were consulting for MasterChef or something like that, and then I think at TAP Beer Fest, I mean, she had a stall.
At TAP.
Yeah,
right.
So she had a
we had stalls
next
to each other. So I have a company called Mo Superfoods where we manufacture and sell probiotic yogurt. So our stall was next to hers, and I was obviously thinking that, oh, there's going to be all this amazing pastry, but like her entire stall was just full of chocolate. And I was like, I mean, I knew you had chocolate, but you had such a array of like flavors and like different like single origin chocolates, and so there was so much detailing that went into it. So I mean, we were also there the whole day, so we got to chat a little bit.
And eat lots of chocolate.
Yeah.
And eat a lot of chocolate.
And you now do dinners together. And,
Yeah, I mean, we just did a recent collaboration where, you know, we did like a cacao-based dinner. So I think the hero was the chocolate in most of our dishes. Anything got to do
In
cacao
everything,
bean actually.
in everything.
Yeah.
What was the menu like? What can you make that's all cacao based?
I mean, we had like obviously the desserts, and the dessert was chocolate based, but all the savory courses did have some element of chocolate. So it wasn't just cocoa powder or chocolate, it was also cocoa butter or cocoa nibs that were roasted in a salad. And so we did like play around with different elements of chocolate. And
So so tell me a bit more about yourself as well, Moina. You're a consultant and you're a chef, and now you've also got this new company that you're building. You know, is that because you feel people are getting more conscious about gut health, about being healthy, and you know, you want to make sure there's enough available for them? Like, what's the driving factor for you?
So, you know, like we were talking about earlier, I'm a wellness chef. I've been in the health food space for like over a decade or more. I feel old. But I've always been drawn to whole food. So like farm to table. So that's why like I just
I think that's where we connected,
Yeah.
because we were like, fermentation came out to be the most common topic.
Oh yeah,
between
that
the two of
too.
us.
Yeah. And one of the other aspects of health food that I think is so interesting is fermented foods. I also have a neuromuscular disorder, so it's been like a couple of decades of figuring out what works for me. And one of the things that has kept me strong and like happy physically is fermented foods, and within fermented foods, it's been kefir yogurt. So it's something that I personally love, and I started it. I set up More Superfoods 3 years ago, where we manufacture and produce probiotic yogurts in different flavors. So there's a drinking yogurt. We also have cream cheese, so we're the first to do probiotic cream cheese, and we recently launched a kefir ice cream as well, in collaboration with a ice
Next
cream
is
company.
kefir chocolate.
Kefir chocolate.
Yeah, I got you one. I got her one of these samples.
I'm like hiding it so that I don't have to share.
Come by a woman, okay? Then we're gonna make this one. We're gonna make this sure that this comes to one of these cacao museums of the world.
Oh my god, yeah. Kefir chocolate, that's
So
going to be
both
something.
of you are chefs, leading women chefs, doing amazing different things in the industry, being recognized for it. You know, what would you share with some of the other women out there in terms of coping with challenges, taking that leap into, you know, carving out your own business, entering a field that's been untouched, because that's what both of you are doing?
I mean, it's not just about being a chef, is it?
Yeah.
I think it's just about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I was going to say. It's not just about being a chef or an entrepreneur or being male or female. Even like I think all chefs and all entrepreneurs face similar challenges. Yes, it is a predominantly male industry.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know about you, but in my experience, I've found it very kind of, especially in kitchens, it's very interesting to work in a kitchen that's full of men. Or boys, rather, like the boys, you know, because they, I don't know, they show a very interesting level of respect for what you do, and I don't think there's anything negative, but the challenges are just human challenges, you know, it's a physically grueling, you know what I mean? It's a physically
Physical
grueling
deterioration very, very early in your career.
Which is why, like, I mean, that's another thing, like, we want to do what we're passionate about. It happens to be very intense on us physically, emotionally, all of that stuff. But, you know, it's so important to understand our own journey. And again, I was telling you this earlier.
Do you think women chefs are like bipolar? We have a
I think men chefs are bipolar. Men chefs, male chefs.
Oh.
Yeah,
Both.
no,
Yeah.
Okay, and what's the game plan then? Like, you know, for you, what's the vision? You've already got so many cafes around
Yeah.
the city. You've now launched,
Yeah.
artisanal chocolate.
Yeah.
What's the vision for you?
I think vision definitely for me is that to make everybody love chocolate and to make make everybody a part of our madness, which is love poly. What we really want to do is really get quality produce to the customers. We want them to engage and tantalize their nuances. Want them to experience that, and also realize that we back in India we are making some exceptional products. As chefs, I mean, it's not just when you travel abroad and you can experience that. I think the culinary scene in India is really booming. I think, and I'm very proud to say that a lot of women are spearheading it. From different walks of life, be it hospitality or be it in the travel and leisure industry or be it just being chefs. And I think that's a great hooray because cooking comes very naturally to us women, Indian women especially. It is in our DNA. We see our mothers doing it, and I think we start off that way. We spend some time with our grandmothers, or our scene is very community driven.
Sure.
So I think that's what I feel a woman is getting to the kitchen is a little bit of creativity and a different affair, a different love affair with food, which I don't think a man can justify. So I think that's like a umami.
I'd like to add to that.
Yes.
So, I feel like the difference between, since you brought it up, like the way men and women cook is that, and so there's like no good and bad, it's just different. It's just men are very logical, right? So they approach food very logically as well. And women are just more intuitive. So there's I feel like an extra energy in the food when women cook because there's some sense of intuition, like yes, we understand the technique, but there's something a little more.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
Isn't it? There's a lot of emotion. I think we do a lot of things from our heart, and so I think even sometimes, and I think for young female chefs and especially women, they should not, because our emotional quotient is just really high. So we take criticisms very negatively.
Really?
Yeah, I think a lot of women do.
No, but a lot of men do as well. So
Yeah, I mean, maybe that's hurting their ego, but I think women take it and then they start becoming a little bogged down, and then they don't want to come up again. And I think women should fight back because they need to believe that every step that somebody's criticizing you is all about improving yourself and improving your game or your cooking or whatever you're doing. And I think that's really important, is to bounce back and fight back that thought. And and say, okay, fine, how else I can become better, how else I can make this do this differently or make this differently. I think that's really important. Yeah.
Lovely, ladies.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And look forward to enjoying some of this chocolate with you now.
Yeah, there's